from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A crash on San Antonio's northwest side leaves one person dead and 3 people hurt. What police are saying about a cause this morning.
And should there be an age limit for kids when it comes to using social media? What the U.S. Surgeon General is saying about the idea this morning.
It is breezy, it is drizzly, and it is chilly out there this morning. But the next couple of days could be, well, we're going to let Mike Ostrage lead the way with adjectives because it's going to be, well, we can safely say interesting. Good morning, everybody. Yes. It's Monday. It is January 30th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and hope you enjoyed the warm weather yesterday because today is going to be quite the opposite.
The game changer, Mike, is here. And what adjectives would you be using today, Mike, and looking ahead, especially today and tomorrow?
Interesting, dicey, and really, really darn cold. Yeah. So, yeah, along with what we're alluding to is the fact that there is going to be some freezing drizzle, especially in portions of the hill country, and that's going to be a threat here in town as well as we go on in the next couple of days. First of all, yeah, there is some light mist, drizzle, maybe call it a light sprinkle out there on radar as of right now, and this is what is showing up, and showing up being the operative word. I had some extremely fine mist on the windshield, but we've got these few little, just tiny light sprinkles here and there, and again, that's the detectable precipitation out there. Temperatures. Now, take note, everybody is in the upper 30s and mid 40s as of right now. We do have a ton of humidity out there. You can't drop down below what these numbers are, so that's helping us out as of right now. But much drier air is going to come on in here. That's going to allow temperatures to drop down close to freezing actually later on this afternoon and then the next couple of mornings. Now, first of all, we do have some fog out there. Visibility is reduced Port SA, Castroville, Bernie Stage, Pleasanton, as well as much of the area, even down to 3/4 of a mile out there in Rock Springs. And we've got a pretty good breeze in places, so that's helping with the fog or preventing some of the fog, but obviously where there's lighter wind, we do have some of that fog out there. We do have a wind chill to deal with as well, 37 in town, 30 in Seguin. Is there more that I can add to this because there's a lot going on right now? Mold is on the high side. Mountain cedar is light for the time being. It's going to be interesting with the northerly winds, though. Now, this morning, just grab a jacket. 36 degrees and mist and fog hanging around here. Then we will, and these numbers did not update. I apologize for that. We're going to be at 36 later on today. Freezing rain in the hill country is going to be possible later on today. Wind out of the northwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. We do have winter storm warnings and watches. The storm watch is the purple area, which does include Bexar County heading out 90 in toward Uvalde. And then the winter storm warning, it goes into effect at 9 o'clock. Both of these go into effect at 9 o'clock this morning up until noon on Wednesday. So we've got this 48, 50-hour period where we're going to have temperatures flirting right around freezing. We'll have periods with some of this freezing rain around the area. Obviously, it's going to be the elevated roadways that we have to watch out first of all. So we'll talk all about this. Warms up by the end of the week, but the next couple of few days are going to be very dicey and interesting. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. San Antonio police need your help looking for this 17-year-old girl. Kayla Reyna was last seen yesterday morning in the 1400 block of Vance Jackson. That's not far from West Avenue and I-10. She is described as being 5'4" with dyed red hair and brown eyes. Anyone with any information on where she could be is asked to call the San Antonio Police Department's Missing Persons Unit. That number on your screen, 210-207-7660.
A crash leaves one person dead. 3 people are in hospitals. A crash happened around 3:30 Sunday afternoon at I-10 at Crossroads underneath the highway. When emergency crews got there, one person had already died. The other 3 were taken to a hospital in critical condition. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
In your morning headlines, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy will meet with President Joe Biden this week. Among the issues to be addressed, a U.S. debt ceiling. A White House spokesperson says Biden will ask McCarthy if he, quote, intends to meet his constitutional obligation to prevent a national default, end quote. 24 Senate Republicans, including several freshmen, said in a letter to President Biden that they will not back a debt ceiling increase without at least equal spending reductions imposed. The answer to that question may come after the Biden-McCarthy meeting. Early this morning, the White House press secretary said the 2 men would meet on a range of topics and insisted that raising the debt limit was, quote, not negotiable.
The man who stopped the gunman in the Monterey Park shooting in California has received a high honor, the Medal of Courage. Brandon Say was given the honor this past weekend by the city of Alhambra, California. Say confronted the gunman who opened fire at a dance studio. 11 people died, nearly a dozen others were hurt. Police say his bravery prevented more bloodshed. Say has received nationwide attention for his heroic actions. President Biden has invited him to attend the State of the Union address in Washington, D.C. next month.
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck the western part of China this morning. The quake occurred at a depth of about 31 miles. Video from state media shows ceiling lights swaying in the city where the tremor was felt. Authorities are now organizing personnel to inspect railway lines, bridges, and tunnels and carry out damage assessment.
Now to kids and the dangers of social media. A new poll finds the issue that worries parents the most about is their kids' mental health.
And now, as ABC's Derek Dennis explains, the nation's top doctor is suggesting tougher age restrictions.
This morning, the U.S. Surgeon General taking a stand against kids on social media, saying 13 is still too young.
I personally, based on the data I've seen, believe that 13 is too early. And I think that it's a time, early adolescence, where kids are developing their identity, their sense of self.
ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel says research shows the Surgeon General is right.
Those brains are still developing, and we have enough research to show that constant social media scrolling can actually affect brain chemistry in these young kids. There's plenty of research to suggest that social media, especially social media addiction, can have a negative impact on teens' mental health, increasing risk of conditions such as anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia, disrupting sleep, schoolwork. Teens are even exposed to misinformation, hate speech, cyberbullying, and predators out there who want to manipulate teens and get their identity and their privacy.
This teen told us images she saw on social media left her feeling inadequate.
It's just so stressful to pick one picture that has to be perfect.
When it comes to age, most of the popular social media apps are ages 12 and up. Only Twitter has a 17 and older requirement. Industry executives point out social media's benefits.
The research that we've seen is that using social apps to connect with other people can have positive mental health benefits.
But many experts and parents insist restraints are needed.
I simply do not think we have the ability to keep every teen out there from getting on a device and lying about their age. But I think it's important that we have a transparent, necessary conversation about the risks, not only from a public health perspective, but from the companies themselves.
Even in China, where TikTok was developed, there's an age and time restriction on the Chinese version. Those under 14 can only access it on youth mode and for just 40 minutes a day. Advocates want similar controls here in the U.S. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
And the time now is 4:38 and 43 degrees for now.
We now know who's going to the Super Bowl. Up next, we check out the matchup between the star quarterbacks, Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes and Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts.
And it's our San Antonio Spurs taking on the Washington Wizards tonight despite the team's losses. Find out what Jeremy Sohan thinks about making history for the franchise.
Checking TransGuide, we are expecting some problems on the roads this morning. Look at the drizzly mess right now on the camera lens, and we are seeing some flashing lights there at 410 and Austin Highway. We'll keep tabs on things. RJ is in for Steven a little bit later this morning.
And let's take a look out there with live cam. Yes, a drizzly mess out there, kind of cold as well. Bring your jacket and your umbrella. We'll be right back.
The San Antonio Spurs will try to upright the ship once again, getting ready for the Washington Wizards tonight. Despite another valiant effort, San Antonio couldn't snap that skid against Phoenix Saturday night. Even on head coach Greg Popovich's 73rd birthday, the Spurs did rally from a double-digit fourth quarter deficit to at least forced overtime. Keldon Johnson finished with a team-high 34 points. Jeremy Sohan provided more than a spark. He made history, becoming the first teenager in franchise history to score 30 points. So how has Sohan found success after struggling earlier in the season?
Whatever situation I get thrown in, I feel like I'm really good at adapting, and I think that's what I did. It's not gonna be perfect. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, but I'm just trying to stay in the moment and do the best I can do, and being a part of this type of organization where they trust me, believe in me, and help me, I think it's a lot easier. So
I'm really proud of him, and I mean it. I'm proud of him to just see the growth. You know, it's crazy for me. You know, as being like one of the leaders on the team and see, you know, him come in and see him flourish like that tonight was definitely big. I think it's big for his confidence. He was hitting shots, hitting mid-range. He was doing it all. And he continued to guard the best player each and every night. And he take on that challenge. And so, you know, I told him I'm proud of him. He'll be first of many for Jeremy.
So it's Spurs Wizards tonight, 7 o'clock at the AT&T Center. Wednesday, the Kings come to town. Friday, Spurs have their final home game for a while versus the 76ers before San Antonio hits the road for the rodeo road trip.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Niners, Eagles, NFC Championship. Could quarterback Brock Purdy, a rookie, lead San Fran to their 13th straight victory and make it to the Super Bowl? Philly strikes first. Miles Sanders scores from 6 yards out, 7-0 Eagles. Niners turn now. Brock Purdy gets sacked, fumbles the ball, injures his right elbow, and he's hit done for the half. Niners are now playing their fourth-string quarterback, Josh Johnson. Eagles lead 21-7 at the halftime. Eagles kept scoring in the second half. They win at 31-7. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 25 or 121 yards for the Eagles, rushed for 39 yards and a touchdown. Purdy 4 for 4 for 23 yards, playing through that elbow injury. San Francisco only managed 164 yards of offense. AFC time now. Bengals at Chiefs. It's cold. 22 degrees at kickoff. Feels like 10. These teams battle it out to face Philly in the Super Bowl. First quarter, Joe Burrow meeting the KC defense in a hard way. There he goes. Got sacked 3 times in the opening quarter, 4 times by halftime. Chiefs led 3-0 after 1. Second quarter, Mahomes on 4th and 1 finds Travis Kelce for this 14-yard touchdown. KC goes up 13-3. Led 13-6 at the half. Third quarter, Burrow goes up top to T. Higgins. This is a 27-yard game-tying touchdown, 13-13. Chiefs respond. Mahomes, 3rd and 10, finds Marquez Valdes-Scantling for the 19-yard touchdown. Over the middle, KC leads 20-13 after 3. Fourth quarter, Samaje Perine goes 2 yards for the touchdown. We're tied up again at 20. 17 seconds left. Mahomes decides to take it himself, goes out of bounds at the 42, but hit out of bounds by Joseph Osai. Unnecessary roughness. That's a 15-yard penalty, moving KC up into much better field goal range. Kicker Harrison Butker comes up and nails the 45-yarder. Chiefs win it 23-20.
They beat us last time. They were talking about we got to play them. There was a lot of stuff. I mean, the mayor came at me, man. I mean, I understand he's the mayor of Cincinnati, so he has to think about something. But I mean, it's something that you just got to play the football game and then let your play do the talking.
These games are never going to be pretty. You just got to find ways, and you know, it felt like that was, you know, the tide was turning our way. It felt like we were going to, you know, just find a way to win this game. But you know, like I said, didn't make the plays down the stretch.
So here's your Super Bowl 57 matchup. Chiefs and Eagles, Sunday, February 12th, 5:30 p.m. from Glendale, Arizona. Philly is currently favored by only 2 points. And looking at the quarterback matchup for that game, Patrick Mahomes passed for more than 5,300 yards in the regular season with 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for KC. Jalen Hurts for 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks to go with 13 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles. Mahomes has more postseason passing yards, and both have 4 total touchdowns during these playoffs. And I saw an article on ESPN. I think this is the first time in Super Bowl history 2 starting quarterbacks, black starting quarterbacks, are making a Super Bowl appearance.
Oh, well, interesting. I mean, it should be quite the matchup, though.
Yeah, history-making game. Yeah.
Time now, 4:46 and 43 degrees for now. Car theft alert just ahead why 2 of the nation's biggest car insurance companies, State Farm, are reportedly refusing to write policies for some versions of Hyundais and Kias. Welcome back. It's 4:49. Let's look out there with TransGuide. You can kind of see it's a little blurry from the little mist that we've been getting this morning. This is Loop 410 at Austin Highway. Not too bad this shot right now.
So that doesn't make the roads super slick. What Mike and our weather team is worried about in the next couple days as temperatures start to drop and then kind of stay fairly low over the course of not just a day, but several days, right?
Yeah, first of all, obviously in the hill country, and you might start to see some freezing precipitation even later on today.
Okay.
So right now everything is, like you said, above freezing. But you were talking about the game yesterday in Kansas City, 22 at kickoff, wind chill of 10. That's pretty much the same air mass that's moving down here. We're not going to be down to 22 degrees, but it is going to get really, really cold around here, and it already is really cold, especially compared to yesterday. So there's the mist and drizzle out there at 410 over there by the highway, or by the airport, pardon me. And here's, you really got to kind of squint to see what's going on here. We've got just a few little light sprinkly showers moving up into northwest Bexar County, and then a little bit further down, we're starting to see just a couple of more of these little sprinkly showers off here to the east, just to the southeast of Seguin. Again, it's not much, a couple of them on the extreme south side of town, right there around 410, heading over toward 35. Again, this is what is being picked up on radar. The mist on my windshield this morning was very, very fine, but of course enough to make the roads damp, and then once temperatures drop down. First of all, everybody is well above freezing as of right now, and we do have a pretty good breeze out there, and it's gusting as well. So we've got wind chills, 30 at Bernie Stage, 30 Kerrville, and 37 is what it feels like here in town. Now, as far as the humidity, yesterday it was hot and humid, basically mid 70s, and dew points have dropped down a good 10, 15, 20, 30 degrees compared to this time yesterday. That much drier air. Now, despite that, as temperatures drop and the dew points drop down, we're still running neck and neck, and we still have some fog to deal with out there as of right now. Castroville at just a 1.5 mile visibility, and even out toward Rock Springs, we do have 3/4 of a mile visibility. So we'll continue with some of this mist as well as fog throughout the next couple of hours, and then it's just going to be mist and drizzle. And temperatures, we're going to start to drop down throughout the day. This is here in town, so we still keep some of this drizzle mist around here, and we're going to be down to the mid 30s by later on this afternoon. Wind is going to be out of the northeast, 10, 15, 20 miles per hour, and then gusting on top of that. So it is going to be a blustery day. So here's what's going on with the dew point temperatures. So they are above freezing. You can't drop down below what the dew point is. However, as the dry air comes on in here, that's going to allow then temperatures to continue to drop down. So that's why we're going to start to see some of that freezing precipitation on contact and the higher elevations, the overpasses, first of all, later on today. And then that's going to be the situation then tomorrow morning with these dew points hovering right around freezing, and that's where temperatures are going to be. So we'll be dealing with that. Here's the computer model real quickly, and you can see that fine line right there, just about along the escarpment. And this is going to be later on today when the chance for some of that freezing precipitation, then that starts to move actually into northwestern Bexar County, then by later on, even this afternoon and the evening hours, and then tomorrow morning as well as Wednesday morning. And again, it's going to be the overpasses, things like that. They're going to be freezing first. 39 degrees at noon. Drizzle. Some of that may start to freeze in portions of the hill country. And then 36 drizzle and some freezing northwest later on today. And we do have that winter storm watch and winter storm warning in effect. Winter storm watch for Bexar County, 9 o'clock this morning through noon Wednesday. And the winter storm warning for the hill country, same time up until noon on Wednesday. And look at those temperatures flirting right around freezing here in town. And then we'll finally warm up by the end of the week. So it'll be a close call the next couple of days.
Yes, it is. And don't be surprised if you see those TxDOT trucks down ice prevention operations here starting today.
Yeah. And again, northwest Bexar County, all the overpasses, highways out there, and the hill country later on. So
well, watch out for it.
It's almost February. It's always squirrely around here.
Yes.
Always is. All right. Thank you, Mike. 453, 43 degrees.
Look at your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3440, Fireball 1, Daily Fort 7398, Fireball 5.
Cash 5 numbers 7, 12, 15, 20, 29. Lotto Texas 8, 15, 16, 29, 46, 50. And Powerball up to $613 million. 2, 18, 23, 27, 47. Powerball 15, Power Play 4.
In this morning's GMA First Look, car theft alert.
If you drive a Kia or a Hyundai, I would be on the lookout.
Now, two major insurers, State Farm and Progressive, are reportedly refusing to write policies for older model 2015 to 2019 Hyundais and Kias.
Auto insurers are in the business of selling policies and expanding their market share, so it's highly unusual for an auto insurer, even on a temporary basis, to hold off on taking on new policyholders based on the vehicle that they're driving.
USB turns in here, turns it off, turns it on.
So what should you do if you own one of these types of cars and don't have an insurance policy yet? We'll have the expert tips coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
457, 43 degrees.
The fallout from the brutal beating of Tyree Nichols by a group of Memphis police officers has struck a nerve nationwide. Up next, what protesters are demanding ahead of his funeral later this week.
And back here in San Antonio, the trial of Andre McDonald continues this morning. As prosecutors are expected to rest their case, we look at what's next and why evidence from a hammer could be crucial.
And let's look at the roads with TransGuide looking over at Loop 410 at Austin Highway, where it appears things are moving right now. We're going to be checking in with our RJ Marquez very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Evidence from a hammer, the latest highlight in the local case of an Air Force major accused of killing his wife, but the prosecution is expected to do in court today.
Renewed calls for nationwide police reform in the wake of the death of Tyree Nichols as his family now prepares to lay him to rest. I'm ABC's Justin Finch, the latest from Memphis ahead.
And it is cold and drizzling out there. Looking out with live cam, 43 degrees, but should get even colder.
And good morning to you. It is Monday. It is January 30th. And right off the bat, you can tell how much things have changed outside with the weather. And Mike is already talking about some winter weather watches and warnings for parts of our viewing area.
Yeah, especially today and throughout the week.
Yeah, it goes into effect at 9 o'clock this morning through noon on Wednesday, and it's pretty much most of the area. And also, despite the fact that, we went from mid-70s yesterday and it was very warm and humid, we are down to 44 as of right now. But then look at the dew point temperature. Even though that has dropped down considerably, it's still relatively high compared to the temperature. So combined with the mist and drizzle out there, it's that dampish chilling when you have that high of humidity out there, and that just draws, it actually conducts the heat away from your body, and that's why it's always feels so much colder on a morning like this. Also, the wind out of the north doesn't really help things because we do have a bit of a wind chill to deal with. Temperatures are going to slowly decline throughout the day, and that's where the issue is going to come into, especially in the hill country, as far as the potential for something freezing later on this afternoon, late this morning and this afternoon. The aquifer yesterday went up 0.3 of a foot, and the allergens do have a lot of mold out there. Mountain cedars on the low side. Hopefully some of this rain continues to wash that out, despite the fact that we do have a lot of the winds that are going to be coming in here out of the north primarily over the next couple of days. All right, here's what's going on radar, and it's not a lot. On my windshield this morning, it was barely any sort of mist, and what we've got going on here in northern Bexar County and then working its way up into portions of the hill country, just these light little sprinkly showers, a few of them up here around Scenic Oak as we go on into Kendall County, maybe near Fair Oaks Ranch, just a couple of these light little sprinkly showers. And temperatures, though, are still above freezing. So that's what is obviously a very important factor. We've got a couple of them right here, just on 35 there on the southwest side of Bexar County, everything kind of sliding off to the northwest. So that's what's being picked up on radar, but a lot of it, again, is too light, and it's just that very fine mist. Temperatures are still above freezing, so that's very important. We still have, again, dew points that are above freezing, but dry air is going to continue to work its way in here. That's going to allow temperatures to drop down. We also have some fog to deal with. 2.5 miles visibility, Port SA, 1.5 miles at Castroville. And much of the area has some of this fog. The wind is trying to kind of prevent the fog from forming up, but you get these temperatures dropping down and still this humidity left over, and that's why that is. And there's that wind out there out of the northeast, 10, 15, 20 miles per hour. It's got some gusts on top of it, so we do have wind chills to deal with as well this morning. Feels like 29 right now in Kerrville. Like I said, mold is on the high side, mountain cedar is low, and we are going to see temperatures that will be in the mid 40s this morning and then drop down throughout throughout the day, 36 later on today, and that's here in town, so it's going to start to freeze up in portions of the hill country, going to be very blustery. And then the threat for freezing precipitation comes into especially northern Bexar County tomorrow morning as well as Wednesday morning, so it's going to be kind of dicey the next couple of days. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ Marquez is behind the wheel, and you want to take it easy this morning, right?
Yeah, you definitely do want to do that, Mike. I just made my way to the station about 20 minutes ago, so definitely roads are slick out there, so keep caution if you are headed out this morning. As we take a quick look at TransGuide right now, you could see that, we got some mist here in the air, and that's obviously on our cameras there. I-37 at Jones Avenue. Things looking pretty smooth in that area. I-37 at Hackberry, but again, very slick roads. Definitely want to head out a little bit earlier if you can, and just take caution if you're out there, because we do expect things to kind of pick up as the morning goes along. Take a look at our big map here again. No major incidents or accidents to report at the moment. There was a disabled vehicle in the downtown area, but things have cleared up in that area right there. It was off of I-10 in Colorado, but that TxDOT map is no longer showing that is the case right now. So again, things looking pretty smooth out there. A lot of green on the screen, which is good. And as we take another look outside with TransGuide traffic cameras, 281 St. Mary's, again, just a lot of mist in the air, a lot of drizzle in the area. So just keep caution if you're headed out. And if you see any of these TxDOT vehicles, any of these emergency vehicles, make sure to give them enough space to do their work and pull over, because again, because of the slick roads, we do expect things to kind of pick up here as the morning goes along. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. A 28-year-old man is under arrest for the murder of his parents in Atascosa County. According to the sheriff, the couple was found shot in their home around 3 a.m. on Sunday. A tip led them to Derek Sherwood, who led deputies on a vehicle chase into Live Oak County. Sherwood crashed and took off on foot. The sheriff says ACSO worked with DPS, Live Oak County Sheriff's Office, and game wardens to arrest Sherwood.
It's a terrible situation, and it seems like we're faced with those kind of situations. They're similar more often than not here in the last few years.
When Sherwood was arrested, he wasn't armed, but law enforcement did find a gun in the vehicle that he crashed. Sheriff says as of now, they're not releasing the names of the two victims. A motive is unknown at this time.
KSAT will continue to cover the Andre McDonald trial this morning when prosecutors are expected to rest their case. It's unclear if the defense will call anyone to testify. Evidence from a hammer was a highlight on Friday in day 5 of the trial. McDonald is accused of killing his wife, Andreen. Earlier this past week, his wife's relatives took the stand. They claim Andre admitted he stomped his wife, Andreen, after they fought over a business. Prosecutors also spoke about the hammer with blood on it that was evidence. But a medical examiner says the autopsy shows Andreen McDonald died from blunt force trauma, which may have been caused by more than stomping.
Would that be consistent with being struck by a multi-phased tool?
Yes.
That be consistent with being struck by a claw hammer?
Yes.
Forensic scientist says Andreen's DNA could not be ruled out from the blood on the hammer. Andreen's remains were found on a ranch in northern Bexar County back in 2019. This morning, we'll continue to live stream on the KSAT.com, the KSAT TV Plus app, and on our YouTube channel. Well, now the latest on the Tyre Nichols case. Memphis police are permanently disbanding its Scorpion crime unit.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, 5 former officers on that unit are charged with murder of Nichols. That was caught on camera.
Now permanently disbanding the Memphis Police Department Scorpion Unit. Short for a street crimes operation to restore peace in our neighborhoods, the unit formed in November 2021 to patrol high crime spots. 5 now fired officers from that unit now facing murder charges in Tyre Nichols' death. All expected in court for arraignment next month. The night of January 7th, officers stopping Nichols and pulling him out of his car. An officer later seen trying to taser the 29-year-old as he ran.
I didn't do anything.
Nichols later tackled and beaten, and responding officers appearing to take more than 20 minutes before attempting any aid.
I feel that everyone there should be charged from both scenes, the first one and the second. Everyone.
2 Memphis Fire EMTs and 2 responding Shelby County Sheriff's deputies relieved of duty pending investigations. Experts say training standards for more than 18,000 U.S. police agencies are inconsistent and outdated. On Capitol Hill, party line divisions in new debates on police reform legislation.
Well, I don't know that there's any law that can stop that evil that we saw. That is just difficult to watch.
We need a national conversation about policing in a responsible, constitutional, and humane way.
And the Nichols family now preparing for Tyree's funeral set for Wednesday. Sources telling ABC News his parents are accepting an invitation to attend the President's State of the Union next month. Justin Finch, ABC News, Memphis.
Time right now, 5:10, 42 degrees.
Still ahead, Facebook is being accused of secretly draining users' smartphone batteries, what a new lawsuit is revealing.
Up next, how medical research here in San Antonio is helping prepare for the next outbreak of an illness similar to COVID-19.
And looking out there with live cam, prepare for the cold after a nice day yesterday. We're at 42 degrees right now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. After the COVID-19 pandemic, many think that preparation for the next disease is crucial.
And a lot of the research preparing for future pandemics is happening right now at the Texas Biomedical Research Center in San Antonio. An Ebola vaccine they worked on was just deployed to Uganda where there was a serious outbreak. While this research is life-saving, funding is tricky since the treatments may not be needed for years. So that's where government funding comes in, called BARDA, an emergency response arm in the Department of Health and Human Services.
They have a mission to fund discovery and development work associated with therapies, vaccines, drugs, diagnostics that are help preparing the country and then responding to these kind of threats or outbreaks.
There is always a chance that government funding for BARDA drops, but Halen says given the public understanding of what a pandemic can do, it's likely the important funding will continue long into the future.
5:14, 42 degrees.
Amazon Fresh grocery delivery will cost more starting next month. We're going to tell you why and how much.
Next, Mercedes-Benz is the first to bring Level 3 automated driving to the U.S., how that surpasses Tesla and other major U.S. automakers.
Wow.
I'm sorry. What was that?
It's good.
Oh, the almond breeze I bought for you that you haven't had before now.
Yes.
That I got you last week that you said you wouldn't try, and now you're drinking and enjoying. That almond breeze?
What's happening, Dad?
Oh, I think we both know what's happening.
They get delicious taste and 50% more calcium. You get all the credit. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. Don't just milk it, almond milk it.
Dry skin is sensitive skin too, and it's natural. Treat it that way with Aveeno Daily Moisture. Formulated with nourishing prebiotic oat, it's clinically proven to moisturize dry skin for 24 hours. Aveeno.
Dad, you all right?
The road to college can be expensive. Luckily, Bank of America lets Dad switch his Choice Cashback category, so he earns more on gas.
With the Bank of America customized cash rewards card, you just can't stop getting rewarded.
5:18 now, and taking a look quickly here at traffic, and we take a look outside of TransGuide traffic cameras. I-10 at De Zavala on the northwest side. Things looking pretty smooth so far in that area. I-35 at New Braunfels, things looking pretty good as people make their way out. But there are starting to get some incidents here that are building up on the roadways as we take you to our map. You can see this incident just popped up on the map right now. So we'll zoom into this right now as we take a look on the near northwest side. This is out at Ingram Road and Loop 410. So it's being reported on the southbound lanes of Loop 410 at Culebra Road, but again, this is out in the Ingram area, so take caution if you're going to head out into that area. Right now, TxDOT's reporting that the entrance ramp is blocked in this area and that there is an additional lane blocked there as we take, again, a look at the outside view of this map. So things looking pretty good out there so far with the exception of this incident here on the northwest side. Take you back outside this morning, TransGuide traffic camera US 90 at Nogalitos, things looking pretty smooth there. 90 at Cup couples, things looking pretty good there as well. But again, with this slick roads, with this mist in the air, kind of drizzly activity that we have going on, we do expect for things to pick up. Again, just keep caution if you're headed out. And again, if there are any emergency vehicles out on the roadways, make sure to give them enough room to clear out any incidents or accidents at the moment. Mike, how are things looking outside?
Well, not that good either. This picture is actually looking a little bit better compared to some of those other TransGuide cameras. So it's kind of off and on as far as the light mist and drizzle out there. Here's what's showing up on radar. And first of all, big picture. Yeah, we've got some of these more filled in, I guess you could say, of the detectable rain, but in and around the metropolitan area, there is just not a lot of it whatsoever. Got to really zoom in, and over here going out 10 in towards Seguin, we've got a couple of these light little showers, and then also right here, this is the radar site around New Braunfels, maybe a couple of those little sprinkles, and then here 1604 heading out 10, just a few of those little sprinkly showers, and we notice how right here on the southwest side, there were a couple of them. They sort of fizzled on out, and even out in portions of the hill country, what is detectable, not out there, but there's a lot of it is so very, very light. It's mist. It's very light mist and drizzle. Temperatures overall are above freezing right now. Obviously, that's a very important factor. We do have a wind chill, though, because we got a good breeze out there. Wind out of the north to northeast, 10, 15 miles per hour. There's some gusts on top of that. So wind chill feels like a 38 here in town, and then freezing wind chills. Now, of course, wind chill has nothing to do with anything freezing on contact. This is just what it feels like to your body. It doesn't make anything like precipitation freeze any quicker. Now, as far as visibility, we do have a little bit of fog to deal with out there this morning still. So keep that in mind going out toward the hill country, and then further on out to the west around Rock Springs, just a half-mile visibility. So here's the forecast for today. Cloud-wise, that's not going to be changing. We're not going to see any sunshine until sometime on Thursday. Temperatures will actually make a slow decline throughout the day. 39 at noon, and then 36 for an afternoon temperature. And the wind is going to be out of the northeast, 10, 15, 20 miles per hour, and then gusting on top of that. So here's the computer model, and temperatures, as we get some drier air in here, that's going to allow temperatures to drop down. So some of this is going to start to change over into a little bit of freezing precipitation. So it freezes on contact. Now, the one thing working in our benefit is the fact that it was up in the 70s yesterday. So the ground is still very warm, but of course, it's the elevated surfaces and the overpasses where it's kind of just soaking in that colder air. So that's why it's going to, the chance of it there. Now, this, again, this doesn't mean everywhere is going to be seeing this, but this is just going to be the possibility of it, and there will be some even going into this evening, and some of that is going to creep into northern and northwestern Bexar County, and that'll be the situation then tomorrow morning as well, that we will have a little bit of this freezing precipitation around here because, like I said, temperatures are going to continue to drop down as the air continues to dry out. That'll be the situation throughout the day tomorrow, and then also going into Wednesday morning, and it's that low parked off to the west of us, which is the culprit for all this, pumping in all this moisture, and then some very, very shallow layer, only about 1,000 feet up of really cold air. You go up higher than that, temperatures go up into the 50s and 60s, but it's down here at the surface where it's the really cold air and below freezing, and that's why we get the freezing rain situation. So this afternoon at noon, 39 degrees here in town with some drizzle, and then temperatures are going to start to flirt with freezing up in portions of the hill country later on today. We'll still be above freezing here in town, but just watch it on some of the elevated surfaces. Again, that's one thermometer out there at the airport. So northwest Bexar County may well be below freezing. Winter storm warning in effect for the hill country, and that is the pink area, the purple area, which does include Bexar County. That is a winter storm watch. All of this goes into effect at 9 today up until noon on Wednesday. So we'll have to watch out for, 1/10 of an inch or so, which when it comes to freezing precipitation, that's a lot, especially in portions of the hill country.
And folks, bear in mind, even all that, the graphics and the advisories from the Weather Service, all that has changed just since late yesterday afternoon. Bears watching for sure.
Yeah, the winter storm, it was upgraded to winter storm warning late yesterday afternoon after the watch had been issued. So that's, this is getting colder and colder as time has gone on, the cold air coming in here. So
if you have the Weather Authority app, make sure you have the notifications turned on. That's key in the next couple of days.
It will be helpful. Thank you, Mike.
524 at 42 degrees.
Let's look at your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3440, Fireball 1, Daily 4, 7398, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 7, 12, 15, 20, 29. Lotto Texas 8, 15, 16, 29, 46, 50. And Powerball up to $613 million. 2, 18, 23, 27, 47. Powerball 15, Power Play 4.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook accused of secretly draining some of its users' cell phone batteries. A former Facebook employee who is suing the social network tells the New York Post the practice is called negative testing. It reportedly runs down a person's battery so Facebook can test certain features on its app. Meta has not responded to requests for comment. Amazon Fresh customers get ready to pay more. Next month, a delivery fee will be added to orders under $150. Right now, most orders under $35 are free. In an email, Amazon told customers the fee will help keep prices low in both its online and physical stores. Finally, Mercedes will introduce a higher-level automated driving system in the U.S. by the end of the year. Mercedes says the system can handle all aspects of driving and the driver's attention is only needed as necessary. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
528, 42 degrees.
The U.S. Treasury Department is taking extraordinary measures to keep the government financially afloat after hitting the nation's debt ceiling. How a new meeting between the new House Speaker and President Biden could put a new plan in place to prevent a national default.
Former President Donald Trump finally hitting the campaign trail this weekend. Find out what he thinks about his GOP rivals for the 2024 presidential election.
And are you ready for another subscription service? How the revived Movie Pass service is different from before when it was canceled back in 2019.
For the first time since becoming Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy will meet with President Biden this week. What the Speaker says he will ask the president when it comes to the nation's debt.
And let's look out there with live cam. 42 degrees. It's cold and you can't really see it in this shot, but kind of drizzly in parts.
Yeah, some of the camera lenses around town are covered in drizzle. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, the 30th of January. We'll talk to RJ in just a minute.
Yeah, you might have a busy day.
Yeah, things are already starting to build up out there. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Not surprised.
And also the next couple of mornings are what's really going to be the issue. This morning is just the kind of the wet. And this morning coming into work, I don't know about you, it was just this very fine mist.
Yeah.
Same, yes.
But now, and then in some, do what?
Soupy.
Yeah, soupy,
Yes,
soupy, cold. Speaking of which, yeah, grilled cheese and soup kind of weather definitely
nice,
the next couple of days because it is bone chilling out there. Yeah, it's funny. Again, yesterday it was t-shirts and shorts weather during the day, and it's not going to be the situation anytime soon. So we've got mist and drizzle. Roads are definitely damp out there. Temperature at the airport stands at 44 degrees. Dew point's at 40. So obviously both of those numbers had dropped down considerably from yesterday, but with those numbers so close together and in some places neck and neck, that's why we do see some fog. Now, we're not seeing a lot at the airport because we do have a pretty good breeze out there, but also with that very high dew point, that just adds to the chill out there. It's that sort of damp chill that I say sneaks down the back of your neck. Well off to the east, we do have a lot of rain over here by LaGrange and over in toward Houston. That is all sliding off to the east. And then a little closer in, you can see that there's really not much to see in and around town. It's just some very light sprinkly showers, maybe a little bit up here toward New Braunfels. A lot of this is right around the radar site as well. But I mean, there's hardly anything showing up on radar. And as it does, it sort of not fizzles on out. It becomes too weak to be picked up on radar. But again, there is mist, there is drizzle out there. Temperatures are all above freezing as of right now, but getting close to it out in the hill country. And as drier air continues to work on in here, we will see temperatures drop down. We also have some fog to deal with right now. Mile and a half visibility at Castroville, and it gets thicker out there toward the hill country. Everybody's seeing a little bit of reduced visibility in one way, shape, or another all around the southern portion of the state. And wind is out of the north to northeast, 10, 15 miles per hour. We've got some gusts on top of that. We do have wind chills, so that just adds sort of insult to injury with these cold, damp temperatures out there. Mold is high, mountain cedar is low, and we've got cold, windy, mist, fog, and then it's going to get colder throughout the day. Temperatures will drop out, still windy, drizzle. That's going to start to freeze in spots, especially elevated overpasses, out in portions of the hill country. And then tomorrow we'll have to watch it here in town, especially on the north side of town with some of that freezing mist and drizzle. Same thing on Wednesday and morning freezing mist and drizzle. Then we'll finally start to see a little bit of clearing by Thursday. Winter storm warning in effect for the hill country. This does include New Braunfels, Kerrville going up 35 and 10, and then a winter storm warning here in town. Goes into effect 9 this morning up until noon on Wednesday. So we're looking at a good 50-hour approximately period of time where we're going to have the threat of some freezing precipitation. All the details on that and where temperatures are going to be going in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, anything going on yet?
Oh, yeah, Mike, it's starting to get a little bit busy out there, and this is the biggest thing that we're following at the moment. This out here on the near northwest side in the Leon Valley area. So Loop 410 at Ingram Road, a reported accident, and as you can see right now from the amount of emergency vehicles in this area, that at least 2 lanes are blocked, including the entrance ramp in this area. So again, this is out by Ingram Park Mall and Holmes High School. I believe right as you get up to Holmes High School, this is where this accident is being reported. You can see right there, multiple lanes have been blocked right now. Traffic is getting through, but again, very slow. There's not that many people out on the roads right now, so that is definitely kind of helping crews clear out this accident as soon as possible. Again, no word on how the severity of it, but again, multiple lanes closed in this area. Now, traffic flow again, things not looking bad in the area at the moment, but of course, things are expected to get a little bit busier as we get through the morning. Again, Loop 410 southbound at Culebra Road. That's where this crash is being reported right now at the moment in the Holmes Ingram Park Mall area. So if you're headed out in this area, just kind of keep caution as you make your way out this morning, because again, slick roads. Got to the station about an hour ago, and yeah, my entire drive through I-10 was a little bit slick out there. So definitely want to keep your space from vehicles in front of you and take your time and take as much caution as you can this morning. As far as the rest of the city, things looking okay right now. We do see a lot of green on the screen, but as sort of the roads continue to kind of be a little bit messy out there, we'll just continue to follow and see if there's any sort of major incidents to discuss. But so far, right now, this is the biggest one out in the Leon Valley area, Loop 410 at Ingram Road. And this is a look at our TransGuide traffic camera. Try and get a little bit more information on this. And again, just keep caution if you're headed out in this area by Holmes High School. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. The Andre McDonald murder trial is expected to move into a new phase today. Prosecutors are expected to rest their case. Katrina Weber is live with the latest. And Katrina, this means the defense is up next. Any idea if they plan to call any witnesses or perhaps put Andre McDonald on the stand?
Well, we still don't know that just yet, but we will continue to cover this case. Now, Andre McDonald is accused of murdering his wife, Andreen, back in 2019. In court last Friday, day 5 of the trial, all eyes were on a hammer with blood on it that prosecutors brought in as evidence. During testimony, Andreen McDonald's relatives had said that Andre admitted to stomping on her during a fight over business. But an autopsy report presented in court shows her death was caused by more than that. In fact, jurors heard from a forensic scientist who testified that DNA from the blood on the hammer is a possible match for Andreen's. As you may recall, it took months for investigators to find her remains after she disappeared from her home on the far north side, again, back in 2019. She did turn up on a ranch in North Bexar County. Again, the defense is expected to get its turn later today. We will continue having coverage of this trial live streaming on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV Plus app, and on our YouTube channel. Stephanie, Mark.
Thank you, Katrina. The U.S. hit the debt ceiling set by Congress, and that has forced the Treasury Department to take extraordinary measures to keep the government financially afloat.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, a solution of some sort is needed within the next few months, and President Joe Biden will meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy this week to discuss the matter in detail.
For the first time since becoming Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy will meet with President Joe Biden Wednesday. Among the issues to be addressed, the U.S. debt ceiling.
If you look at the last 4 years, the Democrats have increased spending by 30%, $400 billion. We're at 120% of GDP. We haven't been in this place to debt since World War II, so we can't continue down this path.
A White House spokesperson says Biden will ask McCarthy if he, quote, intends to meet his constitutional obligation to prevent a national default.
I support raising the debt limit
not because I'm an American, not because I'm a Democrat, but because I'm an American, because I want what's best for my country. And there's nothing American about damaging the full faith and credit of the United States.
24 Senate Republicans, including several freshmen, said in a letter to President Biden that they won't back a debt ceiling increase without at least equal spending reductions imposed.
The Republicans don't want to raise the debt ceiling without cutting spending. Obviously, they don't want to raise revenue. Put a plan on the table. What are you going to cut?
The answer to that question may come after the Biden-McCarthy meeting.
I want to sit down together, work out an agreement that we can move forward to put us on a path to balance, at the same time not put any of our debt in jeopardy at the same time.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And it's official, the Philadelphia Eagles will be meeting with the Kansas City Chiefs for Super Bowl 57. The NFL teams will face off at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona on Sunday, February 12th. The Eagles dominated the San Francisco 49ers in the 2023 NFC Championship game. Now the Chiefs are headed to another Super Bowl and hoping to win their third win at the championship game. Patrick Mahomes led his team to win at the AFC Championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now it was a field goal kick that gave the Chiefs a 3-point advantage in a close game that ended with a score of 23-20.
And the other cool matchup in the Super Bowl this year, the Kelce brothers. That was some of the first video there in that last story. Well, a dress worn by Diana, Princess of Wales, sold for more than $600,000. On Friday, this velvet ball gown went up for sale for the first time in 25 years. The dress, one of Princess Diana's most iconic. She wore it for both an official royal portrait in 1991 and a Vanity Fair spread in 1997. Sotheby's said it sold for $604,000, just over 5 times the $120,000 auction estimate. Designed by courtier Victor Edelstein, the strapless number features a sculptural sweetheart neckline and a tulip-shaped skirt. That is all a mouthful. I can't believe it got through it at 5:41 in the morning. It last sold for $24,000 back in 1997.
You did a great job.
And if I mispronounced the fashion designer, I'm sorry.
I think you got it.
Thanks. 541, 42 degrees.
Popular service for movie fans is finally coming back. Still ahead when you can get the new Movie Pass subscription and how much it'll cost.
Up next, 75 days after first announcing he was running again, former President Trump is finally out campaigning. Find out what he has to say about possible Republican challengers.
And let's look out there with live cam. If you haven't stepped outside yet, prepare for the cold. It's 42 degrees right now, and it's going to stay that way for a while. We'll be right back.
544, the race for the White House is beginning to heat up.
As ABC's Mary Alice Parks reports, for the first time since announcing he was running again, former President Trump hit the campaign trail this past weekend.
75 days after he first announced he was running again, former President Trump finally out campaigning in New Hampshire and South Carolina.
I'm more angry now and I'm more committed now than I ever was because
these first events smaller, a far cry from his signature rallies. But Trump already taking aim at would-be primary opponents like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Ron would have not been governor if it wasn't for me. So then when I hear he might run, I consider that very disloyal.
While Trump remains popular among Republican voters, there are signs that the party could be looking to move on.
He's not really bringing that fire, that energy. I think that a lot of folks saw in 2016. He's going to be a candidate, but he's also going to have to earn it.
Many blaming Trump and his unfounded claims of election fraud for Republicans' lackluster showing in November. In a Marquette University poll out this week, DeSantis faring better than Trump in a hypothetical head-to-head against President Biden. The field expected to be crowded even with Trump in the race. Former Vice President Mike Pence, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and others all still weighing a run.
And that was Mary Alice Parks reporting. The time now is 5:45 and 42 degrees for now.
RJ is going to have a busy morning tracking traffic for you. Right now, no problems at 410 at Cherry Ridge, but we are seeing flashing lights here at 410 at Ingram Road. We'll get a direction for you coming up right here on GMSA. 5:48, your morning consumer headlines. MoviePass is back. The subscription service for movie lovers that once offered an unlimited pass for $10 is staging a revival, but with some changes. After the company got into financial turmoil, the service shut down in 2019. The new version uses a credit-based system. Plans start at $20 for 68 credits, which MoviePass says translates to about 1 to 3 films per month. The most expensive plan costs $60, which should allow for about 1 movie per day. Let's check on traffic with RJ Marquez.
All right, not a bad deal there. Okay, so moving on to some traffic now as we take you outside this incident taking place here. A crash being reported there at Loop 410 south at Ingram Road. You can see that they still have emergency vehicles there. I just got off the phone with TransGuide. They said that EMS crews have cleared the scene, but obviously police are still in that area. Looks like one of these wreckers may be headed out there as well. So multiple lanes blocked in this area. This is Holmes High School, and Ingram Park Mall is on the other side of the highway there. You can see again Loop 410 southbound at Ingram Road, and traffic is moving through there. So that is the positive news right now as we look at our maps right now and see exactly how this is affecting traffic flow in that area. Again, both lanes there, the northbound lanes and southbound lanes, things looking pretty smooth. So no major delays or backups to speak of in that area as crews try to work their hardest right now to clear out that crash. Again, though, the multiple lanes blocked in that area. Also the entrance ramp to Loop 410. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are in that area this morning. As far as the rest of the city, nothing major to report. There was a report of a disabled vehicle out there on the west side. This is at US 90 and Nogalitos Road. So, but again, disabled vehicle does not seem to be backing up traffic for the most part in that area as well. As we take another quick look at this accident, I'll show you this thing on US 90 at Nogalitos. Let's see if we could pull up TransGuide. There we go. We have it right there. So does not appear if crews have responded to this yet, but this is definitely being reported now by TransGuide. So again, US 90 at Nogalitos, as people make their way out, just kind of keep caution if you're in that area because, of course, we've seen some wet roads out there. Mike, how are things looking outside?
Well, it's damp. You know, in a lot of those pictures, didn't see any actual rain falling. That's the situation out here at 410 and I-10 over there by the airport. But like I mentioned, the roads are definitely wet. There's been a lot of light mist and drizzle because most of it is too light to be picked up, I should say, on radar. Off to the east, going out 10, you're going to run into some actual showers around here. But as you look a little closer in, most of it now over here by Castroville, we've got a couple little sprinkly showers that have just now popped up, and out in portions of the hill country, I mean, you almost have to squint to kind of see a couple of those little sprinkles right in there. That's basically about it. It was so, I keep saying all morning long on my windshield, it was just the finest, very light mist, but again, enough to make roads slippery, and it doesn't take anything when temperatures drop down below freezing for that to freeze on contact. 1.5 mile visibility at Castroville right now. 4 at Bernie Stage. Kerrville is at 4 miles. And then temperatures are still above freezing right now. We do have a wind chill to deal with, though. Now, that has nothing to do with anything actually freezing. This is just what it feels like. But if you look at temperatures, Fredericksburg is now flirting with freezing. Below freezing up there in Junction. So that colder air and the drier air is going to continue to work its way down in our direction. So that's why temperatures will continue to slowly decline throughout the day. Mid-40s here in town right now. And again, this is the San Antonio temperature. It's going to be colder in portions of the hill country. 39 at noon and then 36 later on today. So when we're at 36, freezing temperatures are definitely going to be an issue in parts of the hill country, which computer models are indicating there may be a couple of spots where this is freezing on contact in the hill country later on this afternoon, then going into the evening hours. And some of that may try and creep into northern Bexar County by the wee hours tomorrow morning. So we'll have to watch out for that. If you're going out 10, going up 281, some of those overpasses, that's what we'll be on the lookout for. And it's going to be very light. But again, it doesn't take anything for, you know, the finest mist freezing on contact is going to be a problem. That'll be the situation through a lot of the morning commute tomorrow. And then this is also going to extend into early Wednesday morning, and that chance for the freezing precipitation. Also on Wednesday, we do have a better chance for some rain to move on into the area. Again, we've got this low out here to the west of us. That's going to slowly work its way in our direction. And as that gets in here closer, that's what's going to enhance the rain chances around here. So at least we've got some decent rain chances chances, and that's going to be the situation on Wednesday. So the forecast today, 39 at noon, still some of this very fine mist, drizzle, a little bit of fog this morning, and then later on today, 36 here in town, close to freezing in the hill country, and there may be a little bit of freezing precipitation in the hill country. Winter storm warning for the hill country, winter storm watch. San Antonio going out 90. This goes into effect, everything goes into effect at 9 this morning up until noon on Wednesday. So the next couple of mornings are going to be kind of squirrely around here, and temperatures will be right around freezing, definitely freezing in the hill country, and then we finally warm up as we go in toward the end of the week. More after this.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we have to cover, of course, after that video released of the Tyree Nichols beating, the peaceful protest that happened over the weekend. Yet there are more questions about other people who were right there on the scene. And behind me, I'm at a castle in Central Park. It's called Belvedere Castle. There's a lot of history here and one of the longest weather observation sites. We're here today because we have now gone the latest in the season, breaking a record of no measurable snow. On top of that, this site and dozens of others from the Northeast through the Midwest have had their warmest January on record. I'll tell you what's next, and a big storm developing, ice storm from Texas to West Tennessee. That and so much more right here on GMA.
Ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, the Spurs are coming off a rough stretch on the West Coast. We'll look at their final homestand in the Alamo City before the rodeo road trip. And police are searching for whoever is behind the murder of a San Antonio man in an 11-year-old cold case. Katrina Weber joins us to break down those details next. And checking TransGuide. 410 southbound at Ingram, flashing lights remain. We're expecting a tricky commute not only this morning, but for the next couple of mornings around South Texas. Much more from RJ and Mike to come.